to the channel, fool. If you missed this week's videos, this recap is for you. So don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you like videos like this. Do you guys have any witch theories? And I rebuke all evil transferred through this, and you better do the same. AI magic? Or was that bird real? Trust me, you don't want to go check.
How did the people who created the first clock know what time it was? What if it was 5 o'clock when they created the clock, but they put it as 4 o'clock? Isn't that concerning?
Bro was I don't know. Leave me alone.
That's as far as it goes on video. I'm taking the video. Goes away. What the hell?
What is going on? Do you see that?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Video recorder.
Finally, guys, we have UFOs captured in HD.
It's not really hollow. There are cities underneath the earth, and they've been down there. The people went down there at the fall of Atlantis. There's a whole city. It's got a sun, it's got water, it's got lakes, it's got animals. It's beautiful, and they're more highly advanced than we are. But that is
and
inside
they
of the
live
earth.
thousands of years old, I understand.
Oh, it's been down there since Atlantis. The survivors of Atlantis, some of them went into the hollow earth. The entrances are found underneath the pyramids of the world. They had the entrances to the hollow earth, and the pyramids were built on top of the entrances. This means the one in Egypt, the one in South America, anywhere there's a pyramid, there will be an entrance going down into the hollow earth.
And I have only one question. How much is food and the rent over there?
يا ملعون يا لعين ماذا بك أيها اللعين ماذا بك أيها اللعين إيش مالك عصبت يعني قل لي عصبت عصبت يعني شكل الشيطان دخل فيه الشيطان هذا اللي قاعد بيتحكم فيه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أعوذ بك من همزات الشياطين قل ربي إني أعوذ بك من همزات الشياطين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب لأنه هذا شكل الشيطان بيتحكم فيه رسمي الشيطان بيتحكم فيه.
Caught on camera wearing Jordans.
They're reptilian, they're ugly. They're anywhere from 7 to 22 feet tall. They can weigh up to 1,800 pounds. The longer, the ones that have stubby tails, if you see one that has no tail, these are the warrior class, or the worker class. The longer the tail, the higher their rank. When you see one with long tails, with winged appendages, he's considered royalty. They have two hearts. There's one here, underneath this armpit, and one here. Or if you can't get to that area, you need to slow it down, you need to hit it right above its groin area that has a very large liver. You need to wound it there to slow it down. It is not something where man-to-man combat you're going to be able to deal with, because they apparently have the strength of 12, 15 men. They're incredibly quick. They're incredibly psychic. They know what you're going to do before you do it. And you know, if they get here in mass, we got real problems. Real problems. There are 1,833 of them that have been living underground between 100 and 200 miles beneath the surface. They've been here, some of them have been here a long, long time. They have lifespans that are thousands of years. They're carnivorous. They are not friendly to mankind, at least the ones that are here.
Are they carnivorous? They eat humans?
Yes. And they need to be, they won't eat a dead human. It has to be alive at the time of the killing. Their preference is children. You know, and we've been told you shouldn't talk about that.
And how does he know that? Think about it. Really, that glass was commercial grade.
What is a skinwalker?
A skinwalker is a shape-shifting demonic entity. It's essentially a Native American witch or warlock that sells their soul in exchange for immortality, the ability to take on the skin or shape-shift, oftentimes in the form of a wolf, a dire wolf, or a werewolf-like creature, but they can also take on the shape of other animals as well. It's a topic that I found the Native American community likes to stay away from. They don't like to discuss it. To even say the name Skinwalker is negative.
Anybody guys experienced it?
You said you don't count cards.
I mean, I can count cards. Counting cards is not hard, but no, that's not my strategy, but counting cards is not hard. Some of those brightest card counting minds get hired to work for the casino in surveillance. And they help two things. They help hands-on, like with actual watching live in real time, catching card counters. They watch back tapes of suspected card counters, and the guy who's like a, bright mind at counting cards goes, yeah, he's counting cards. Or the third way is they help create the software. They help give the software developers the data that they use in their brain to count cards or to catch a suspected card counter, so the software can pick it up also.
Okay, but counting cards is not technically illegal, is it?
It's not illegal. If it was illegal, they'd get arrested.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's just frowned upon.
Right.
It's bad for business if you're a casino owner.
Right. Now, the casinos are corporations, but they're not public organizations, meaning that they can decide who is allowed in the casino.
So casinos can cheat to steal, but you can't. Where is the logic here? OMG, time to go back home.
Gentleman, as you saw, that is freaking out on an airplane, and the images shown of what was sitting next to him. I don't know if it was a shapeshifter. I don't know if it was a demon. Most people are saying it was an alien. It looks like it's some form of demon creature that maybe transformed in front of him. And as you can see, a bunch of people, they were all jumping up and videoing.
I just wish they had a better quality video, guys.
So these tunnels underground, which lead to a vast city beneath Manhattan, were created by the Vanderlei family, who were one of 7 families that allegedly came from beyond the ice wall and discovered our world centuries ago.
Exactly. Story goes our world's a whole lot bigger than we've been led to believe, buddy. That we are allegedly surrounded by this massive ice wall. Somewhere far outside of this ice wall, there is a place called the Ancestral Lands. This is where the Vanderleis were from. They, along with 6 other families, reigned supreme over the Ancestral Lands. They were like royalty. Amidst one of their expeditions, they discovered a massive wall made of ice in the middle of the ocean. Eventually, they found passages in the ice wall big enough for their ship to get inside. And the weeks that followed marked the discovery of 7 different continental landmasses. Each family claimed one. And so our world was born. They devised a plan to populate each continent with their own people from the ancestral lands, but only embryos. So they, or we, would have no knowledge of our origins.
The outer space might not be in the sky, maybe underwater, underground. Who knows?
Someone wrote into my show, said, Michael, if you could meet the devil. I said, I don't know, I probably have met the devil a few times. Don't wish I
met him twice.
You've met him twice?
Personally.
How'd that go?
Not well the first time, because I wasn't even a seminarian. I was discerning. I just came out of my life of sin. I joined Our Lady of Victory, like I mentioned, and this little old Polish priest who became my spiritual director. And I remember one day I went in and I said, you know, this job is killing me because, well, it was a sales position. I was entertaining big shots at all fancy restaurants every night, drinking. I said, I can't balance this with trying to live this new life. It's not working. So he said to me, well, let's do this. Why don't you, for the next month, you can call ahead or go to the meet to the restaurant early and tell the bartender when you order a drink that it would be just club soda, no vodka. But you would order it publicly and then they won't know. I said, I could do that. So he said, no alcohol for a month. So it's the middle of the day, it's like noon. I come out of the church and there's this beautiful, handsome man, custom tailored suit. And he's staring at me, which if you've ever lived in New York, you don't stare at people.
It's pretty unusual.
Very, like you put your eye, you don't,
yeah.
It's almost an attack, like this, I'm being attacked now, I have to fight. And I just was like, weird. So I turned to walk towards my office and he runs up next to me and he grabs me by the arm. Again, no guys do that. No guy grabs somebody by the arm and is like escorting them. And he goes, let's get a drink. And I just had chills go up and down my body. And I said, get away from me. And then I turned direction and went towards my apartment because it was closer. And I got to my apartment and I walked through the doors and the doors closed behind me. And I looked out and he was just laughing at me. And it was like, whew. So he leaves and I run back to the church. I go, Father, let me tell you what just happened. What do you think happened here? What is this? He goes, I told you, you're going to have a target on your back. So you got to be careful. And I said, was that who I think it was? And he goes, sounds like it.
Certainly seems that way.
I mean, that was just no random person for sure. So that really, it's frightened me, to be honest. I was like that. I didn't sign up for this at all. And then a few years later, I was on a vacation visiting an old banker friend down in Miami. And she set up a whole luncheon at this place called Nikki Beach, which really isn't appropriate for seminarians or priests. Yeah. It's it's the glitterati, the high-powered, wealthy people. It's bottle service on the beach.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. And the two girls to my right, I knew both of them. Sandra was hosting, and my ex-boss, Christine, was with me. And they start looking at this guy across over by the other end of the deck. Like, oh my God, look at that guy. He's so handsome. My God, he's beautiful. And all of a sudden, Sandra's like, oh, he's coming over here. And I turn and I look, and it's him. It's the one that wanted to get the drink. Only now he's like shirtless in a bathing suit, and he walks up and he goes, what are you doing here? I thought you were going to be a priest. And he goes, this is my territory. You shouldn't be here. And both the girls got flipped out. They were like, they had the scare mechanism.
Like the face that I'm making right now?
Yeah, literally like, danger, Will Robinson. And Christine's like, get the check. And she threw money down. She's like, we're out of here. And we left. But like, when those things happen, God allowed it, yeah. Right? So for me, I felt like I wasn't supposed to be there.
But did he meet the devil, or a demon called himself the devil?
Now this is definitely something you don't see every day, a duende in the clutches of a cat. This happened in Ecuador, and is actually very impressive footage. Pay close attention to the duende, pixie, fairy, little creature as it fights to free itself from the cat. Unfortunately, the cat broke the creature's arm and damaged its leg, But this brave little creature manages to break free from the cat and flies off at incredible speed.
And cats can definitely sense interdimensional beings.
Are phenomena that are emerging from other dimensions that occasionally interface with this dimension of 3D space-time, and people will call them alien, but they're not. A lot of people will see something like that, and there is evidence for strange, like Stranger Things, right? And those can be from another dimension, but they're not extraterrestrial. An extraterrestrial biological entity is from another star system and planet. To go from point A to B, they are dropping out of linear space-time and traversing other dimensions. So some of the phenomenon that's extraterrestrial looks very, very close to something from another dimension.
Gresh never said extraterrestrial or alien, he said interdimensional. I think that that's incredibly important.
They're not necessarily a biological entity from another planet.
In China only.
Police across the country are warning more criminals are using Apple AirTags to target their victims. It comes after two high-profile cases in Indiana and Ohio.
This is 26-year-old Galen Morris there. Police say she used the device to follow her cheating boyfriend out to a local bar. When she found 26-year-old Andre Smith there with another woman, police say she ran him over with her car 3 times and killed him. It's just one example of a growing and a dangerous trend. Heidi Moon was shot and killed in her own driveway by her ex-boyfriend. Her family tells me he used an Apple AirTag to follow her home.
Wow.
The good guy never wins. The guy who plays by the rules never wins. Cheaters win. The guy who works hard never makes it to the top. He stay at the bottom working hard till he dies. Nobody wants an honest person, but they want you to say you're honest. Nobody wants you coming in here saying, homie, you come to my company and we cheating and doing wrong and you're gonna be honest. Nobody likes the honest guy when we doing wrong.
Nice guys finish last.
Come on, homie. Nobody likes the guy on the job who does the job by the book, does the job by the rule. When he come around, we all, come on now. Yeah. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. The people didn't get to the top because they worked hard. They knew somebody that helped them get to the top, that opened a door for them. Hard work pays off. But it don't make you win. It just pays off. You gotta kind of do something extra.
Have you ever wondered how contradictory our society is?
What the heck? Oh my god, it's in there.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
I can't even get it out. Oh my god!
That's a big piece.
Holy
Big piece of plastic.
crap.
When I was 15 years old, I got exposed to an organization called the Brotherhood. And this group took me in and taught me how to use the law of attraction. And what that really is how to use your brain to act as a transmitter and receiver of frequency. And they taught me how to focus that to virtually attract into my life what I wanted. They told me that I could have, be, or do anything I wanted. But I did that and I made millions of dollars before I was 18. Andrew Carnegie, at the turn of the century, was the richest man in the world. And he hired a guy by the name of Napoleon Hill to study the rich people in the world, including Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Firestone, J.P. Morgan, all the super wealthy, and write a book about what is the secret. Well, he wrote a book in 1926 called The Law of Success in 16 Lessons. Henry Ford saw it, went crazy. Basically said, we don't want people to know the truth. So they got it pulled off the market. He edited it out, and now the watered-down version came out. And then the even more watered-down version was Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right. That was so watered down. So people bought that in the millions, And a very small percentage actually found it to cause them to be successful. There's a missing element. And so what I teach is I'll teach you what I learned from the Brotherhood. And quite frankly, these are the same techniques that members of Skull and Bones have learned from Yale University, the Bilderberg Group. Some people may be familiar with some of these organizations. The Power Elite, when you get to the highest level in Freemasonry, 33rd degree level of Freemasonry, these are secrets to, we call it manipulating energy. It's really just how to beam the frequency of your brain of what you want so that it will come into your life.
دي له فلوس حقها هجيب لك فلوس.
What you do?
فلوس.
فلوس what?
فلوس فلوس money.
Why? I don't want your money.
فلوس ما
Don't piss off Einstein, bro.
Jesus is coming to rapture us before the 7-year tribulation, which we are on the eve of.
Yo. Hey, big respect to the pastor who performed an exorcism on the spot.
I remember we left and went far into the countryside. We came to a small hut, and he said this was where he got rich. He told me to go inside. I believed him, and we found an old woman inside. The man said she was the boss, but she was actually a witch. As soon as I saw her, she said, "I know why you're here." I was really scared, especially when she knew my name, Mifano, without me telling her. I was afraid. The woman said I could become rich or famous. Since I was already there, I listened to her. She told me that to get what I wanted, I had to sleep with my mother. But my mother had died 2 weeks ago. I asked how that was possible. She said I should dig up my mother's body and do what I have to do. Hearing this, I was terrified. I reached a point where I started thinking it was okay to do what the witch asked, even though my mother had died. I thought about how much I wanted to be like famous people, and felt I had to do anything. So I went back to the witch and agreed to do what she wanted. But to be honest, I don't know what powers were using me at that moment. She said I made a good choice and that I would become famous 2
Just
times.
wicked.
She gave me a horn with something inside. It was a small cloth with 7 needles, and she told me to keep it, saying it would be important later. She then told me to find 7 guys to help me dig up my mother's grave at 2 a.m., and then I should sleep with her. I went straight to my friends. Surprisingly, the friends I asked to help were very supportive and acted like what I was doing was normal.
Just a wicked story.
Late at night, the young men went to the graveyard. They dug up the grave. Scarily, Ramadan did what the witch told him to do with his mother, and his friends watched quietly and secretly. My mother had been in the grave for 2 weeks, but her body still seemed fresh when I did this awful thing. I felt like some unknown powers were controlling me. After I finished, we buried her again. It was strange to me that my friends watched it all as if it was normal, and I wondered if some power was controlling them too. They even asked me to introduce them to the witch. I left the graveyard feeling scared and full of regret for what I had done.
Hey, maybe this guy's working 2 jobs. You don't know. But sometimes you gotta mind your own business. He's just having his breakfast here, peacefully.
So you find it hard to believe that there are no photos of beyond the ice wall anywhere on the internet. Well, let me show you the one photo that people do genuinely believe shows what is beyond the ice wall, and that is this one right here. This photo shows some sort of advanced civilization that has egg-like buildings right next to a bunch of healthy green vegetation, which is very close to the ice wall. I mean, look at how close that is. How is that even possible for all that to exist? And this is the same thing that Admiral Byrd said that he saw in like the year 1912 or something when he flew over by Antarctica. He said he saw green vegetation everywhere and he wasn't expecting it. People were absolutely mind blown when that image first came out, and many thought it could have been AI generated, but there were just too many pixels in the photo and no discrepancies anywhere. It looked like a real photo. Now, I've come into contact actually a few people who've said that they went beyond the ice wall, and one of them actually sent me 2 photos of what supposedly is over there, and he told me not to share it, but I can describe it. So one of them had some sort of ancient Greek pantheon on some green vegetation, and the other one just showed a sort of oasis right next to the ice wall. So there's that.
There's been a sudden increase in the number of objects in the sky, more slow-moving objects above our country, around the world.
Good evening, I'm Peter Downs.
And I'm Andrea Fujii. We begin tonight with a story literally lighting up social media. This is video of a strange light in the sky right around 6 tonight. We received dozens of calls into our newsroom as well as multiple videos.
They all show the same thing, a bright light with what appears to be a sort of blue-green tail. People from Menifee to Oxnard to LA to Catalina Island, even down to San Diego, all reported the same sight, all the way up north to San Francisco.
The aliens having visited Earth, although that's what I spend my life, so much out there in the universe, aliens exist somewhere.
There's objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain.
Orange County sheriffs tweeted they confirmed through John Wayne Airport Tower that it was from naval test fire off the coast. Kern County Fire tweeted it was a rocket test and says it was from Edwards Air Force Base.
And they're pushing hard, fam. What the
I don't know what this is, man. Something screaming down there, man. Hello? Where are you? Show yourself right now! Something big moving in there, man. Something real big, guys.
It's a fully functional pen that records HD video and audio.
With our product, it's as simple as clicking the button on top of the pen.
Yep.
To record an HD video.
Yep.
And you just unscrew it and plug it directly into your laptop for instant video playback.
Yeah. We sell these all over the world. We've shipped to 20 countries, every state.
The man behind the pen, Andrew Gilliland. Andrew and his team have office space where sales of the #1 rated spy pen are soaring.
The pen is super cool. The high-def picture is clear.
Sound amazing. People of all walks are using this pen. And when you buy the pen, you will be prompted to read your state laws so you know how to legally use the iSpy.
Well, this morning, not too bad out there.
It's all fun and games until it's outside your house at 2 a.m.
Yes, here we are, America, coming to you live from Food Max off Fruitvale in the Fruitvale district, where we have an irate, thieving type customer who's just coming here and he's displayed his love of hot sauce. You see, he's put hot sauce on his damn shoe. I'm not sure if he plans to eat the shoe along with the chicken that he got down there, but that might be it. But we can tell one thing, he's definitely a lover of hot sauce, because he's got hot sauce every goddamn where. And he looks something simple just like this. Something that you might throw out with your trash. You know, unfortunately, security in the store people can't do anything because they'll get sued. People like me would have just shot him and dragged him out of here. He would never even think about coming back to the store. He wouldn't even want to come in this goddamn neighborhood no more. Do you see this right here? I would stick hot sauce all up his from now until the resurrection. Yes, America, it's me. And that's what I would do if I had a choice. But unfortunately, I'm out. I bought my food and I'm gone.
I have no idea where the hell I am. This place is so creepy. I'm so glad I didn't bring Jacob or Tommy. This place is just, too weird. I'm getting out of here. What the heck was that?
Does anyone have the exact address of this back room? Now I'm curious.
I just kind of, I wanted something that I didn't have to pedal.
So you just started putting stuff together?
Yep. I started finding road signs and stuff like that people ran over, and I started...
Oh, that's the frame. Wow.
No welds.
No welds at all. Everything is just put together with, I'm guessing. Oh. How did you make the control arms? This is crazy.
That was a pain in the ass.
I can imagine. Wait, and what's your name?
Logan.
Logan, I'm Clyde, man. You are cool as hell. What kind of motor is that?
It's 4.5 horsepower. It comes off of a air compressor. Can I take a big sip? Sure.
Do you have a phone?
I don't.
But you just be here, up and down here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If I see you again, I want to get you a bigger motor.
Right on.
For real? I can do. Okay.
Absolutely. I'm all about it.
Come.
You can't make that up. This is it. This is LA.
Get out. People can get out. Hey, wait. You're gonna lose that life.
Sir, please calm down.
Rawr, rawr. Rawr. Wow. That was crazy.
It was a little clogged up and he lost it. And that's pretty much everywhere just before Thanksgiving.
Subject is lost, heading unknown.
That was a UFO, guys.
Yeah, so you guys, first and foremost. Second of all, can you tell people that I didn't sleep with you for an interview?
I'm not lying.
Last thing.
Why would she even say that? At least he kept it real.
Is there an ancient race of tiny people? Ripley's, believe it or not, once had one on display. It, however, went missing in the early 1940s. These are found in archaeological digs in Peru, and believe it or not, I actually have one. What do you think these are? Because they're definitely not human.
New York steaks with New York seasoning. Wow.
Lucifer is Jesus in the Bible. Jesus even says it in himself. He says in Revelation 22:16, Jesus said, Jesus, I am the offspring of David and I am Lucifer.
So the Christians are also worshiping the opposite than what they believe and what they think they're doing.
They're worshiping Lucifer.
The same that you said that the Jews are doing.
Yeah, exactly. And the Muslims too.
The whole world is worshiping something satanic?
Yeah, that's what I think. And I think that when I say satanic, I think the whole world and all the worship is going on throughout the world is being led into this by higher powers in the universe.
Why would they want us to worship something that is sinister and dark?
When you meet them, whoever they are, ask them that. That's a good question.
Run! We know you was at them Diddy parties. We know you was there. We know you was at them Diddy parties.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so yeah.
He's pretty quiet.
Your hair is kind of...
My hair is 19 inches long and I have no perm.
Oh, that's not a perm.
No, it is not. Nice lady.
That's
Come run one of your gnarled fingers. While you on air, so they can hear you live.
Come on, let me come over here.
No. That's not how that works.
Oh, okay. Well, then stay over there.
Don't worry, ain't nobody putting their hands through yours.
That's right. They don't have to. I don't want them to. Get on out of here. You okay?
Only one of our hands moving while we talk. Tell Wanda to take off them headphones and that wig.
And make sure
that wig and the headphones come
take
together.
off them old ass clothes you got on. Get this inmate out of here.
If you can't get your blood pressure down, you can't call me down. If your cholesterol is 600,
whatever, little mama.
You probably shouldn't talk about sizes.
No, that's okay.
You big on the radio.
That's right. And you're big
Turn
in
it
prison.
down.
And you're
Yes,
big in
ma'am.
prison.
I've never been to prison.
Calm
No.
down. Calm down.
Only one of us has $12 worth of jewelry on. No.
No, $12.
No. If you want to have Wanda's jewelry, please go to Citgo or Quick Trip at any point. If you buy 2 packs of Newport 100s, they will give you everything Wanda has on right now for $7.99, and it comes with a free car wash. Won't you come on down?
Yeah.
And sometimes when you try to embarrass someone and it just backfires. She got roasted. For who, for what, for when, and why?
Tell time. So what year is it right now? Now it's 2010. I thought it was 2018. No, we're 7 years back. So I'm actually 19 years old right now.
Yeah, you're
technically.
19. Yeah.
Do you know why you guys are 7 years behind?
So we use different calendar. Basically, we use Gregorian calendar.
Can I see the calendar on your phone? Right now in Ethiopia, it is February 7th, 2010. But on my calendar, it is February 14th, 2018. They don't have 12 months in Ethiopia. How many months do you have?
We have 13 months in a year.
Okay, so what is the 13th month?
The 13th month can be 6 days or 5 days based on every 4 years left. So every month in a year has 30 days.
Okay.
It's not like 28. It's not like 31.
Like February. Okay.
So you have 30 days, and then at the end, the 13th month has 5 or 6 days.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I don't know why the rest of the world doesn't do that.
I don't know.
Every single month in Ethiopia has exactly 30 days, and the 13th month has 5 or 6 days, depending on how many days you guys missed out.
Yeah.
So it really equals 365 days in a year.
Exactly.
But that being said, it's still 2010 right now.
Yes, 2010.
So what's going on? If it's 2010, I wouldn't be able to have this camera, and I probably wouldn't have an iPhone. I would be a freshman in college right now. It's just crazy, man. So when is your New Year's?
September 11th.
September 11th.
Yes.
So when we were going through a tragic time, people in Ethiopia were celebrating.
Yeah, we were rocking.
The other thing in Ethiopia is the time of the day is different. So can you explain to me how it works?
So we basically count from sunrise to sunset. So the day divided into two. Midday is 6.
So when you wake up at like 6 a.m., what time is it?
It's going to be 1. We start at 1. 6 is midday, and then
you finish at 12 again.
Yeah.
So when the sun goes down, the end of the day, 12 o'clock.
And then we start again. 1. Midnight is 6.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
So you heard it from the guy himself. It's
I was like, you're not.
You know his last name?
I don't know his. I just met this other first name, and I told him don't try it.
Let's go over here, man. Let's go over here and I'll get you. Hey.
I literally told him not to try it.
Hey, I just asked you.
They told us that we are never, ever to fly over that hole, and we are never to discuss it again. What is that about? And does that have anything to do with all these other pieces that keep emerging? That there might be something archaeological in Antarctica?
That hole, my friends, might just be a gateway to another world.
Now, if people tell you who they are, you just have to listen. Everybody tells you exactly if you're supposed to be with them or not. They tell you. You just have to listen. How soon? Their body language that they say, they let you know. They let you know. Listen, don't me. I'm bad for you. Wow. You just have to listen to me. You give people the benefit of the doubt. You try to believe that they're going to be a good person. That's your best interest at heart. And then it fails every time. It fails every time. They tell you off top. They tell you with the body language or with their words or whatever. And it's your fault if you keep pushing with that certain.
On my jewelry on my neck, my 35 carats, going by 35 carats, now, yeah, now 35,000, yeah, now I'm gonna be fine. She said, now drive me, she said,
What kind of syndrome is that? If you guys know, drop a comment.
Affecting the entire or a large portion of the United States of America. Imagine what that's like. You walk outside, you turn on your phone, there's no signal. You go back inside, you turn on the TV, no signal. You turn on the radio, no power. You turn on the faucet, no water. You turn on the fridge, no outside, cars pile up, no streetlights. Within 3 to 5 days, the food is gone from the grocery stores. And the trucks that the city counts on to resupply that food aren't coming. Within a week or two, the sewage system starts to overflow and contaminates what remains of the water supply, and people start getting cholera. Societal order starts to break down. There's mass evacuations. The emergency responders who during the first few days were desperately trying to evacuate people trapped in elevators have now left their positions like many did during Katrina to protect themselves and their own family. The unfortunate news is that the threat of such a blackout is very real.
A little scary, but hey, you want to be prepared.
Oh yeah, I like your makeup.
Is there anything else that's like on my face?
Is there anything else? Oh, girl.
Kita lagi kumpul.
Oh, la bruja.
Mira, güey, se abrió. Güey. La muñeca, güey. Esto fue obra de la muñeca, güey. Estaba cerrada eso, güey. ¡A la güey! ¡Ay, la madre! Estoy cagado, güey. Estoy recagado, güey. Esta madre estaba cerrada, cabrón. Esta madre estaba cerrada, amigos. Esto estaba así. Mira, esto se abre así, miren. No mames. Si estás aquí, esta alma que esté penando, hámelo saber. ¿Qué pedo, güey? Güey, pero qué pedo, güey. No mames. Esto se abrió sola, cabrón. La muñeca se movió, Tito. Sí, se movió la muñeca, güey. No mames, güey.
When he said no mames, I knew this guy wasn't faking.
Yeah, I've never been the same since my brother died. There's a melancholy in me that never goes away. I'm 50% happy and 50% sad at any given moment. And the only advice I can give people for when you lose someone like that is you won't ever get over it. And the more you know that and embrace it, the better off you are. I don't want to forget my brother, and I don't want to forget what it felt like when he died, because he deserves it. That's how important he was to me. So if I have to suffer, and if I have to be sad for the rest of my life, and if I have to be lonely without him, without his particular thing, his sense of humor, and what he brought to life, then that's the way I honor him. You know, I'll be sad and melancholy about that forever, and I know it, and I accept it, and I live with it.
Grief feels like a life sentence.
Иә, көрдіңіз ба, призрак жүр.
Храм жабық тұр.
Храм жабық тұр, иә.
Мен жауап кеттім ғой.
Сіз шынап ход жасап жауап келдіңіз. Қайта сізге көрінбепті жаңа, көрінгенде сіздің есіңіз шығады деді. Бұны көрдіңіз ба? Елес жүр ғой, елес, призрак. Бәсе өткенде мен түнгі сағат 1-лерде көргем. Қараңыз, біреу жүр ананың ішінде, призрак. Көрдіңіз ба Асқат аға? Призрак. Иә, көрдіңіз ба, призрак жүр.
Храм жабық тұр.
Храм жабық тұр, иә.
Мен жауап кеттім ғой.
Сіз шынап ход жасап жауап келдіңіз. Қайта сізге көрінбепті жаңа, көрінгенде сіздің есіңіз шығады деді. Бұны көрдіңіз ба? Елес жүр ғой, елес, призрак. Бәсе өткенде мен түнгі сағат 1-лерде көргем.
Doesn't look like AI. Pretty legit to me. The icy version of the Ring of Fire. I haven't seen it myself, but hey, that's just crazy if it's real.
An exercise you can do is you go up to somebody from an angle where they can't see you coming up to them, and you surprise them. You go, hey, Mike, whatever. They turn. For that second, their expression reveals how they really think about you. You'll detect if you can pick up micro expressions, and you can express a kind of, and they smile. You can see the little disdain in their eyes, right? Then the mask comes on, or you're talking to them, they're looking at you, but their feet are facing in an opposite direction. That means that they're dying to get away from you. These are signals that you don't necessarily pay attention to. Their posture will tell you everything about their levels of confidence, on and on and on. The fake smile, if you can just master the ability to detect the fake smile, it will go wonders for you, because what you really want to do is to see the genuine smile, particularly in romantic relationships.
What do you guys think? Is that Project Bluebeam hoax or real?
They said they were working with dark matter, which I think you can think sounds like antimatter. The scientists, they said, were working with dark matter and doing things they weren't supposed to be doing with it. And I said, what were they doing? They said they were trying to create their own universes, their own wormholes. Now, what does that sound like? Those of you who know, you know what's going on right now, don't you? The collider experiments. If you look it up on the internet, you'll see it. It was going on this last year. These scientists were trying to create a wormhole, trying to create a new universe. And they have built this huge machine. They said it is the most powerful machine in the history of the world to shoot atoms and things at each other. And the explosion, they said, they're hoping, create a new universe and create a wormhole. And this is why they're always saying, we want you to know these things because you're repeating the same mistakes now. Well, these scientists that are doing the collider experiment are working with antimatter. And this is what they said they did in Atlantis. They were working with dark matter. And when they were doing it, it got away from them. And it began to destroy the grids of the earth. So they said we had to step in and destroy it and stop it. Because if it would have continued, the entire earth would have collapsed. All the grids collapsed, and it would have had a escalating effect, and the grids of the entire solar system, the grids of the whole universe would eventually all collapsed on itself. This is what they keep saying they're afraid of. So they said we had to step in and destroy the population at that time. And I'd never heard that explanation before.
Is that why we're feeling kind of out of space or strange? Remember the Project CERN?
These freak-off parties, they're not freak-off parties. There's a lot that happens. There's life-size wheels that people attach children to and spin it and decide who's having in what way. There are so many things. There's body cakes. There's party favors. And I'm talking like, you know how you put up a little birthday bag? Like when you go to a birthday party, and before you can leave, you can take one of those little birthday bags off the table. And then there's toys and like all this stuff for coming to the party. Yeah, instead of that, there's children. They call them party favors. How do you think the kids are doing? You hear the adults saying that they were on liquid IVs after the parties. You hear how many toys they pulled out of his house? I told y'all how many times that the Playboy is connected to houses. The tunnels connect to homes that connect to really big places, especially the Playboy. A lot of you guys are starting to hear that now.
I know, right? It's a sick world we're living in, but we gotta protect our kids at all costs.
You allowing this, man?
Who are you? And how did you get in my kitchen?
You black? You allowing this? You allowing this, man?
Honors the time spent with your previous insurer. Great, but what does that have to do with getting this jar open? Nothing. So you can't open them.
You black, man, and you love watching. Just like them. You gonna watch them kick and beat on me again, man? Black man, you gonna watch them kick and beat on me again? Man, I live with y'all self doing this to black people, man. Beat my off of me. I said I ain't allowed to have my, I can't see. Crazy. 3 units, let's see footage. My hands, man. Everybody ready? Get your ass out.
Just shocking. You gotta be careful in the streets.
Element 115 was what we would call the fuel, what provided the power for the reactor to work.
What happens with gravity and 115?
Element 115 affects gravity. Element 115 produces its own gravitational energy. It had a very specific manufacturing technique. I don't really know how that information came to be. Its code name was LA 1000. That's what it was referred to off-site. Its purpose was supposed to be, again, this is just a code and deception, was supposed to be an advanced armor. So it's an unusual material, so now we can take it to a national lab. This is LA 1000 classified material. It's a very advanced armor that takes care of all weird questions. So, you immediately start operating on lies. This fuel is in the form of just a three-dimensional thin triangle, little rounded edges. It's somewhat copper in color, that reddish brownish. The way this is manufactured is really critical. It's not just cut out of a heavy sheet of material. A cylinder of this material is taken. This is machined into a cone. So this is, the outer part is shaved off using a lathe or something like that until you have a three-dimensional cone. Once you have the cone, it's sliced like this. And these slices become that. Now, even this starting piece, a solid cylinder, is not even a solid cylinder. It consists of many discs stacked up. And these are fused together to produce that. And all of these steps are necessary to produce a successful triangle that brings fuel. So actually, if you were to look at how this came to be, this would actually be pieces of all these discs that were cut at unusual angles. Now, apparently, if you don't do all this, that doesn't work. So, unfortunately, that's the extent of my knowledge on this. This makes no sense anywhere, but that's what it takes for it to operate. Now, with the alien technology that was present in the craft, it takes that basis, that extra gravitational energy in a small reactor, amplifies it through the equipment there, directs it through the waveguides and archways into the emitters, and allows it to propel the craft and manipulate the gravity wave for whatever use they want.
And he hasn't changed his story in 30 years.
Have you ever had an experience where you're thinking about somebody and the telephone rings and it's them? Have you ever had an experience where you phone somebody else and they say, we were just talking about you? It just leaps into your mind. Have you ever had an experience when you're in tune with your husband or wife and you think, I'd like to go out to dinner at such and such a place tonight, and you call home and they will say, why don't we go out to dinner at such and such a place? These are all examples of this law of attraction. The law of attraction is considered by many to be one of the most important laws of human existence. In this, you will always attract to yourself, positive or negative, people and circumstances that harmonize with your dominant thoughts. That whatever you're thinking on a continuing basis, you're attracting into your life. You're drawing it into your life like a magnet. That's why it's so important that you keep your thoughts on what you want, keep your thoughts on what you desire, and keep your thoughts off of what you don't want. And by the way, as you advance and develop and become more proficient and more sharp with these methods, the law of attraction will work faster for you and with greater accuracy. So be careful. Use it right.
And that's called manifestation of the mind. And we're all capable of doing it. I don't know if the dance was more scary.
I'm going to show you. So you clap your hands 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then use your right hand to cup the elbow, this part, 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And do the right arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then use your right hand to cup the arm peak of your left arm 9 times by putting your hand behind your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And do the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Hey, Macarena. But seriously, that's real.
And then repeat 8 more times. Total together 9 times. Make sure you cup, right? You don't use your flat palm to hit. That hurts. When you cup, you use the vibration to go deeper into the tissues. Use the vibration to help to open up the channels. In our hands, we have 4 energy channels, meridians, connecting directly to the heart. They're all in the hands. That's why clapping the hands, clapping these areas, it can help to enhance the circulation of the heart. If you don't have any heart problems,
I don't give what you think, you know? I don't care what you think about me. I had come from an environment with very little cheerleading going on. And so I created a sort of survival instinct where I would cut people out, you know, and minimize opinions. And the way that I would do that is I had to believe that my opinion was greater than everybody else's opinion around me. You just do your own, because trust your instincts, buddy, because you're God. And that most of these stories of saints in the faith, full-blown, and I mean, this is kind of part of being a man. It's like, you kind of got to it all up a little bit.
I think so.
I think part of learning is dying. I think part of learning is you got to die a little bit. Because what is learning? Learning is me giving up on my old ideas. Those ideas have to die for me to be open to some new. And so me learning how to be a better man, I had to die a little bit.
Always trust your inner voice is inside you.
Everything around you was created. You were created. That table over there created. This chair created. This mic created. That camera created. That hat created. The whole point of the human race in itself is creation. Before now, when there was at least ideally the belief of 2 human beings on Earth, everything after that was a creation in itself. The whole point is evolution and creation. If you're not evolving, you're doing something wrong. So anything that takes away the power of your mind is keeping you still and delaying your evolution. The whole point of life is evolution. Study your laws of the universe.
Facts.
The law of attraction, the law of abundance, the law of equivalent exchange. Study your laws, the laws of cause and effect, karmic cycle. Study your laws. Dwell into your mind, meditate. Understand that you can alter your realms by your train of thought. The minute you slow down your thought, you're able to leave your body through astral projection. You're only enslaved if you can't control your mind. So while you can and while you don't have the whole world against you, or you don't have a lot of worries, worry on freeing your mind from this realm. When you can free your mind from this realm, everything is but a thought. And if you can't free your mind, then you're a slave to this realm.
This man is proof that India is not for beginners. At first look, you might think he's in danger, but the truth is he's just taking a bath. He cares a lot about staying healthy, so this public bath is part of his daily routine. Would you take a bath here?
Did you see that? He drank that water like he didn't give a.
Some conversations are too high frequency for people that's vibrating at a low frequency. I can't cast my pearls to the swine. They're going to take them and just all over. You have to be careful because you can emit so much energy into others. You can pour into others so much that you forget to pour into yourself. And that's when we age. That's when we become drained. You ever had a conversation with somebody and you're like, man, I'm so exhausted, I'm drained.
Yeah.
But you have a conversation with somebody and then you feel refreshed after.
Replenished, yeah.
They gave you life. Other people, they just took energy. They was energy vampires. And that's why I'm at with it right now. I had to learn how to set them healthy boundaries, but I
Ooh. They set him up.
There's a secret government with its own Air Force, its own Navy, that's above the law and free from the law itself. The CIA director says, yeah, I know this is real. Why is it this level of secrecy? Who's keeping it secret? How are they doing this? How do I take on a group that have technologies that can do circles around the B-2 stealth? The worst treasonous acts that have ever happened to any country that falls is from within. The president, the director of the CIA, they had all been pushed aside and denied access. What's behind the secrecy? So let's say you have something that would fit on a little table this big, and it's pulling energy out of what's called the quantum vacuum, which was proven to exist back in the 50s. If you had a coffee mug, the amount of space in that coffee mug has enough potential power to boil off all the oceans of the world. That was mastered decades ago. That means that every home, business, car, manufacturing, village in Africa that would generate all the energy they need for all the needs that we have for a modern civilization. If that technology were to be disclosed, it's $1 quadrillion in proven assets, oil, gas, coal, that are obsolete. That's what they're protecting.
And who's really pulling the strings and why? Yo.
The devil only hear what you say. God only know what you think.
Say it one more time, brother.
The devil only know what you hear. God only know what you think. That's why intention is powerful. So when people manipulate me with their words and start talking, I just listen to the vibration of it. And if it vibrate low, it's some lies there.
Guys, watch this. Look how creepy this is. Watch this. Wait for it. Wait for it. Who the is that? What the is that? What was that, bro?
I've seen stuff in my life, and I can tell you, that's a psycho.
It's crazy that you're 72, like you look like 36 or something, and you're totally jacked. You got like veins coming out of your arm. You can do push-ups all day.
If I want to run a hill, I can run a hill. I don't want to have a life alert. I don't want to get in the bathtub and can't get out. My energy is just off the roof, so I'm ready to go. That's what people need to really understand. When we just sit down and just let it go, that's generally what will happen to you. You lose strength.
But still, people have difficulty wrapping their head around really getting on board. Even seeing you at 72, banging out the push-ups and with your skin and, rocking the attitude and like the whole thing, they're like, yeah, but like, where am I going to get my protein? How's this going to work? Like, I don't, maybe, Babette is some crazy outlier. It's not possible for me.
First of all, we're all the same. If it works for me, it will work for you. Self-love, self-care. Educate yourself because knowledge is power. Don't walk around here being ignorant and saying ignorant things and keeping yourself in an ignorant space. My thing is, you better educate yourself and you better understand where protein comes from to be able to say that I'm 72 and enjoy each and every moment. My time on this planet in this form, it's just amazing.
Let me see.
What on earth?
I want to see.
Let me see. You're throwing them in the lake. All right. What you got? Oh, wow. Good shot.
Everything we know about Michael Jordan now has to be questioned. Apparently, people are going back and watching his game film and finding that his stats have been inflated.
The game film in those 6 games, Michael Jordan had 12 steals. The home box score, how many extra steals could they have given him? 2, 3? He had 12. The box score, 28! There was a game where they credited Michael Jordan with more steals than the other team had turnovers.
And what's even worse is you got Scottie Pippen, who he won 6 rings with, confirming it. In his book, Unguarded, he said when he would deflect the ball and tap it to MJ, MJ would get credited with the steal. Also, when a stat keeper from the 1990s was asked about this subject, he claims it was league-wide practice to inflate home team stats. And what do you know? From the 1988 season, MJ has the biggest disparity between his home games and his road games in terms of steals and blocks. People were already starting to call MJ a bald Jaylen Brown that couldn't use his left. But now it's just looking like MJ and his whole entire story is a complete fraud.
Okay, he inflated his own stats, but is MJ still the GOAT?
You feel me? Why y'all coming out like that? Why y'all coming out like that? Don't shoot him! What do you mean? What's going on? Hey, I just drink like Johnny made 40 on him. Let's go!
I live at the beach. Do you have a 60 gallons worth of stuff?
I don't live on the beach.
Okay, well we're gonna do this. I'm Daisy the Venice Healer and I chose this life. I chose it so that I could be the voice for the vulnerable. So let's have a showdown. I mean, you guys are trying to tell me I got too much stuff because I got blankets. It's cold outside. Yeah, and I don't only have blankets for me. Billy the kid and other people, I got runaways coming. I haven't seen Billy in a few days, but I got other people who I have blankets for. I just showed you, I got one suitcase of stuff.
Because we talked to them and they
Got us. Look, you guys are making it so that there's a toll on sleeping and people gotta pay a toll on stuff. And just because I don't pay the sleeping toll and the stuff toll rent, doesn't mean that I don't get to have sleep and that I don't get to have stuff. I got woken up Wednesday at midnight and then you guys came again, woke me up at 4 a.m., right, Home Slice? Didn't they? Yeah. Well, after midnight, and let me tell you, when you guys disrupt someone's sleep, you mess with them. So right now you're messing. I just showed you my stuff. I got blankets and one suitcase in my Easy Up. I could pack everything up and go in no time. I'm not like a hoarder. And if you look around my area, there's no trash. There's just flowers.
I never said you were a hoarder.
What do you guys need me to do?
If you can consolidate it into a 60-gallon bag and show us that it fits.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, then we can give you 15 minutes to remove all your stuff. Not all your stuff, but just the
What
bulky items.
you want me to remove these? What do I have to remove? This and that. What else?
We're going to treat you the same way as we did the other people.
Okay, so
we'll
tell
give
me.
you 15 minutes. After that, anything that you leave, we're just paying off.
You're not telling me what I have to get rid of.
No, so we're not, but we're telling you anything that you want to keep that can fit in the 60.
Hey, you guys! It's time for us to unite and organize. This is too much.
Why McDonald's burgers don't sell in Vietnam? Because the Vietnamese have their own super burger, the Toad Burger. Though it may look a bit intimidating, unforgettable flavor is what keeps people coming back. These aren't your average toads. They're specially farmed bullfrogs, rich in protein, and with a texture similar to top-grade tuna. Don't let their looks scare you. Vietnamese chefs transform them into a delicacy. Fresh chilies are minced, mixed with heaps of garlic, and tossed into a big bowl with shrimp paste, curry sauce, and sea salt for an aromatic, flavorful blend. Once the spices are thoroughly mixed, the creation of the toad burger begins. Each bullfrog is filled with the spicy mixture until its belly is packed with flavor. Despite its appearance, bullfrog meat is tender like chicken, but finer and juicier, with a slight bounce to each bite. Its delicate fibers are smoother than most meats and develop a slightly translucent, glossy texture when cooked. The pieces, whether in chunks or strips, have a uniform look and an enjoyable elasticity due to the fine muscle fibers. Would you be up for trying?
Imagine you had no choice. Would you go for that toad burger or a Big Mac?
Do you know this thing you're living in vibrates? As a matter of fact, there is an aura of energy around your body. That is the cells leaving your body. Your body changes at the rate of about 50,000 cells per second. And as the cells leave the body, new ones are created. And you know, as the image in a person's mind changes, the vibration of their body changes, and the density and the color of this energy changes, and changes dramatically. Do you know you've even got a mental faculty where you can start to feel that energy coming from a person, and you can determine the mood they're in very, very quickly. You can virtually read what's going on inside an individual. That's just about as bizarre as anything you'll ever hear. But I'm going to tell you, it's just as true as anything you'll ever hear if you understand natural laws. And what I'm talking about is moving your mind into a higher vibration, developing a higher consciousness, and you can literally attract all the good that you want. You see, money is literally attracted to us, or it's repelled.
Be there for your children, you dumb. Be there, love them, listen. It's not complicated, homie, right? That's it, bro. That's all I did, bro.
When you say you knew then that you needed to be there, what did be there mean? What did that encompass?
No, bro, and like my mind could only grasp what it could grasp at that time. I knew that I couldn't leave you. That I wasn't gonna leave you, that I was gonna show up. That's it. That's all. I'm gonna take you to McDonald's. All I got is enough money for McDonald's, my son, but I'm gonna take you. That's it, bro. We overthink it. My dad left Texas, you know, like, and not having your dad makes a difference, bro, you know? Not having your mom makes a difference, but not having your dad makes a difference, bro. That's all I did. And I didn't stop, bro. Was it not, bro? It's not. I'm gonna be right here, son.
I met that boy, you know, and that's a loved boy, man. He loves his dad, and that's a solid young man. You did your job, bro.
For all the wannabe drop beat dads, just be there. Ain't complicated. Your kid needs you.
And then we take a pen and we write it on a potato.
That's right.
This G210, hands down, has the best quality on a potato that there is.
Alex Craig started PotatoParcel.com. The UNT grad says the idea came to him a few months ago.
I would say the two things that hold everybody back in life, it's fear and it's doubt. The fear of failure and the fear of wasting your time, and the doubt that you can actually achieve something big on a huge scale.
So now his computer is filling up with users ordering $10 potatoes with a custom message sent anonymously to whoever they want.
And what's really cool about this is that it takes me about 30 seconds to write on a potato.
It's a simple idea, and it's making money. Craig says he's clearing $10,000 a month since PotatoParcel.com launched in May. But at just age 24, Craig says it's kind of turned into something better than profit.
We've sent thousands of potatoes to people across the United States, and so in some sort of weird way, we've had an impact on somebody's life, even just for a split second, that they open their mail and they say, what the hell is this? And it's a potato. And suddenly, somebody in Dallas, Texas can have that impact on somebody's life.
This interview is 10 years old, but guess what? The company is still alive.
The Anunnaki, there's a lot of depictions of them that have been left behind, fortunately for us. So we can see they were really big people. They were mighty men. If you look at even Gilgamesh, for example, who was only half Anunnaki, every time you see a depiction of him, he's holding a full-grown male lion in his arms with one arm. He's yoking a lion, and he's standing up, and the lion's feet aren't even close to the ground. He was known as a big, big man. They called him a hero of old. They called him a savant. And so some of these beings, according to the estimates, could have been as much as 15 15, 20 feet tall, real big people, massive people. Over time and through mating and mating with humans, they began to get smaller. They said, let us make man in our image. That made it into the biblical text. It originates in the tablets. So they're making us in their image. They cultivated us to look like them. Not that we actually are a replica of them, but the similarities are striking. In other words, you can always tell the slight difference. Even in biblical texts, they have the Anak, that's the Anunnaki. It says in their eyes, we were grasshoppers in their eyesight in the Bible. So we're talking about big people.
All those ancient civilizations were giants. We're the smallest ones.
Back up, back up. Yo, you gotta back up.
Yeah, I need to get out of here.
You're not gonna get out of here. The cops are gonna
Are
riot.
you going to kill me?
No, I'm not. Just chill out.
You have a knife?
Back up. I have a knife, yeah.
Let me get out of
Stay here. Hey!
And now you wanna do something to me?
Hey! Can you come out? Hey, yo! Hey, yo! Yo! Hey, yo! Yo, we got an intruder, yo! Yo! An intruder! Yo, we got an intruder! Yo, it's a burglar! Yo! Hey! Hey! What? Yo!
Dude, what is...
There's people screaming there every night. I've heard it for myself. The city's trying to cover it up, trying to get everybody out of here because they know there's people in those things.
Actually been what appear to be vampires or maybe werewolves caught on camera. And I'm talking humans changing into them and growing fangs right there, boom, on camera. Here, hi, I did it for you. I shit you not. So this gentleman is on TikTok and he said that he was a vampire. And his followers said, no, you're not. No, you're not. Show us your fangs. I don't believe it, right? So he does. He shows his fangs and he goes into a whole spiel about how fangs work and all this stuff. Just check it out. Check it out.
Let me explain something about fangs. This is the part of the video where everybody becomes a vampire expert, but those same people don't believe in vampires. Y'all humans are weird. Fangs are like your saliva. You don't salivate unless you smell food, you think about food, you about to eat some food. Fangs are the same way. Fangs are not meant to just pop out whenever. You know, this ain't True Blood. Like, stop with the movie. Stop with the movie, y'all. Don't stop thinking about all of that. When you force fangs out, it hurts, right? Because your body is not naturally opening up for the fangs to drop out. It's like if you guys were taking or trying to take and it's just not coming and you force that out, right? What happens after that? You guys will get hemorrhoids. Same thing. It's because your body wasn't naturally trying to push out. Y'all need to drink more water, by the way. Drink more water. Mind your business, drink some water. It's like lifting something that is too heavy for y'all to lift. What's gonna happen? You guys will pull a muscle. You know, you'll get a hernia. Same thing with fangs. Like right now, my gums hurt. And these are kind of pushing out a little too much. My teeth aren't supposed to pop out like that. That's too far. That's too far. What's another thing y'all were talking about in the comments? Oh, sunlight. Vampires been here way longer than humans, okay? I don't know which one of y'all started that rumor, but that's a rumor. It was a rumor made to make y'all feel safe. Sunlight. I'm in it right now. We gotta go to the store just like y'all, you know, like stores close at a certain time. I can't be waiting until nighttime to go shopping at the supermarket. You feel me? We just like y'all. We just like y'all. We just, you know, a little stronger. You know, drink blood. I like these questions though. Keep them coming. I like these questions. Oh, I'm like, you hear me slurring? I can't even talk right. My gums hurt. But keep these questions coming, you know. Oh, just so you know, I might not make it through this series. I've been getting the true death threats. True death is the death of a vampire. I don't know why they call it that, because we're not dead. I'm not dead. I'm not dead. And that's another thing. Why y'all? Don't let Dracula fool you. Don't let Dracula fool you. Anyway. Okay.
Weird, right? Well, it doesn't stop there. That's not the only video from this gentleman. Now he has another, in this next video, he has a comment that came through that said they're definitely retractable things. Like good job faking it, but they're definitely like fake retractable things that you have in your mouth. So he responds to this video by making another video of him opening his mouth and showing that he has nothing in his mouth. And then once again, growing his fangs. Watch. Very creepy, right? Like very creepy. Then it goes a little further with this guy. So somebody commented on that video, the one we just watched, and said, well, if you're really a vampire and those aren't retractable things, then let's see a picture of you from 100 years ago. And he said, okay, I got you. Watch.
Okay. I kind of feel like the more I show you, the more you guys won't believe me. But it's okay. I'm used to this now.
Okay, let's see.
Hey, mama. That's me. This is me in 1919, I believe. I was trying to be an actor. I've always been trying to make my way into film, even 100 years ago. I kind of switched over to screenwriting, as some of you might know, just because it's a hard industry to crack, you know. Back then, they didn't really allow too many Black people in silent films, you know, so you really had to be animated to kind of let them know what you're capable of, you know. I look back at this picture now and I hate it, you know, like I feel like I'm pandering to a certain demographic so that I can fulfill my dreams. Yeah, I hate it. But yeah, that's me. That's me.
When he pulled that picture out, guys, that left me wondering. That's a good AI, because if that's real,
there's something they're not telling us that is so gnarly that they don't think people can handle it.
There are, different scenarios you could explore. For example, you ask, what could be so terrible that they can't tell us about it? Let's say these aliens, wherever they're from, made us, that we're a genetic experiment, that they created our religions, our religious figures, that we are an agricultural product, that somehow they harvest us, that our time is limited, that once the experiment's over, poof, we go away. I remember when there was a push back to have a designer universe, intelligent design universe in the schools, and I wrote a column about it, just said, hey, be careful what you wish for, because you might find out that the intelligent designer isn't God that you're thinking of. It might be some alien science project or something like that. You can imagine a lot of different things that would be really disturbing to people to come out. I don't know if that's the reason for the secrecy.
Please let me go home in peace. Leave me alone.
Is anyone here?
Ooh, that black water gave me anxiety. I don't know about you guys.
Proof that reincarnation is real.
I passed away in the river.
By yourself?
With you.
Oh, with me?
Yes.
I was with you?
I want to pass away again.
You are?
I want to again.
You want to again?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't want to be here.
You don't want to be here?
No. I will come back soon.
You will come back soon?
I will come back here soon as...
I wish I could be a pirate again.
When were you a pirate?
I was a long time ago when you weren't alive, and then I shrunk into a little kid.
Where is my grandma? Where is she?
Up in heaven. What did she do to make her go up in heaven?
She was just very old.
Did you grandma almost couldn't walk?
She was old. She could walk, but she was old.
Mommy, your grandma's here. And she says, "Hi, Jamila."
What?
Your grandma's here, and she says, "Hi, Jamila."
Her mommy explained there was no way she could know this name because she was called Jamala 30 years ago by her grandmother while growing up and never told it to anyone.
Take it up head.
Take it up head? Take off my head?
Yeah.
You want me to take off my head?
Yeah.
Why?
I said.
Do you know what'll happen if you take off my head?
Yeah.
What will happen?
Baby hat, you take my head off.
I'll take your head off?
Yeah.
Why?
She was recording a cute memory snap with her little boy when he started behaving strangely, saying that he sees something in the other room.
What you doing? What you see? What? What do you see? Who are you saying hi to? Who are you saying hi to? Dude, you need to stop that. You're freaking me out. Come on.
Some of you guys gonna say unreal. But hey, what about now?
Because you know how I figured it out? What's 1 times 1?
1 times 1 is 1.
To multiply means to do what? To make more, right?
Yes.
Increase in number?
Yes.
Multiply?
Yes.
How can 1 times 1 equaling 1 be part of the multiplication table? It fails to satisfy the term multiply. It doesn't multiply. Does it? What's an action times an action?
You got some weed.
No, I'm asking you. Honestly, I'm asking reason. Reason. I want you to reason.
I don't know.
What's an action times an action? A reaction. Right?
Okay.
Have you ever seen an action times an action without a reaction? Have you? No. Because equanimity is the currency of the universe. There's always an action times an action having a reaction. So how can 1 times 1 equal 1? How can A times B just be A?
If 1 plus 1 equals 2, 1 times 1 should be greater. Shapeshifters on TV. AI will never cease to amaze me.
Rays are not aliens. They're mutated humans from a parallel version of Earth that destroyed their version of Earth to the point where they had to go underground. They mutated. Their eyes got bigger to see in the dark and all this kind of stuff, but they had to mutate to survive. They tried cloning themselves to save their civilization, and that didn't work. Over generations, things started failing. They knew that they were basically in the process of dying out. So what they knew they needed to basically perpetuate their civilization was viable human DNA, which didn't exist anymore in their reality. But they used their advanced technology to tunnel into parallel realities, to shift into parallel worlds like ours, parallel versions of Earth that exist simultaneously with theirs, where viable human DNA was still existing. And to use that DNA through the abduction experiences to create hybrid beings from their DNA and our DNA so that their civilization would continue, would survive. So the hybrid civilizations, like Bashar's people, are actually the result of those abduction experiences and the perpetuation of their culture. But sort of as a payback for the use of that DNA, the hybrids now, like Bashar, are sharing information with us in our reality so that we might not necessarily have to go down the same destructive path.
And that's absolutely plausible. Those birds disappeared in the water.
And man, I'll tell you what, this is going to sound crazy. If anybody wants to think I'm nuts, I've had one call where it's kind of funny to say this, where I just went, if there's such a thing as demonic possession, this might be it. And, you know, because you deal with unstable people all the time, you know, but this one call I had, it was just like, you know, you're not thinking that when you're on the call. You're not thinking, oh, that's just the devil. I've seen The Exorcist. I can just, you know, power of Christ compels you. Let's move on.
What do you mean by call? Like,
I got called to I was working with this young officer, and we got called up to this house up here on the mountain over by, what's up here on top of High Ridge, Franklin Hills area, way up here. Beautiful, beautiful neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the call comes in on the computer, and it says, this guy wants his wife taken to the psychiatric center. He's just, you know, the officers to give her a ride. And I was kind of like, man, that's your wife. That's your problem, man. You take her. We get there, we knock on the door, and this elderly man opens, and he says, hey, you know, my wife's been in the psych center for months. They've let her go, and she needs to go back. And I'm afraid to put hands on her because I don't want to fight her. I don't want her to fight back, and I don't want to be accused of hurting my wife. We've been through enough. I'm a jerk, man. She starts telling me a little bit about her, right? He says, well, she's upstairs. She's been out, I don't know, a few weeks, but she's not eating. She hasn't showered. She's not taking care of herself. She's not on her meds. And she's just been pacing up and down, back and forth, just pacing. And he goes, be careful where you step when you go up there because there's blood along the floor. All right, because she'd been dragging her feet and it just like gnawed her feet down. And it was causing them to bleed out.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. So right then, their son comes out of the kitchen or something. He's like, hey, what's up, you guys? We're like, hey, what's up, man? And I noticed he has fresh ink on. He just got tatted up because he's got ointment. I just catch this, and so we're all talking. And, you know, the dude says, you know, well, go upstairs. Just be careful. She's up there. This is kind of already eerie. He's like, be careful. You know, all right, man.
Wait, were you by yourself?
I had an officer with me. I had a young female with me. as we come up off the steps, there's these double doors. And man, like, it's like right out of the movies. There she is. She's straight back. And she's just kind of taking that torque stance where she just tweaked, you know, and her hair is just stringy and matted down, you know, just all matted out. And her skin is just pasty, just like, and she's doing this breathing like, I'm going, man. And she pops up, right? And she just starts walking towards us. And that's like, I'm going, like, what do you do? I'm like, hey, come here. Give me your hands. Let's talk this out. Like, no, that's not going to work, man. And she's just, and she walks right towards me, and she beelines it right back to where she was started. And she's just going back and forth, dragging her feet. And she's like hyperventilating, and her body's jerking. This was on another level, man. This was on another level. And I get the officer I'm with starts talking to her, and they're like facing each other. And this lady, she just looks at me. She just turns and looks at me, right? And she shallows her breathing, and she's looking at me, and I'm going like red flag 1. Like something in her was watching me. I know that sounds nuts. That sounds like when we're looking at each other now, it's not like that. Like something was, I'm going like, this is weird. So right then, their son comes upstairs, and he sees I'm engaged in this. He goes, hey, man. I'm like, what's up, dude? He goes, I'm a Christian rapper. And I'm going like, what? He goes, yeah, man, I drop beats for the Lord. Like, okay, I mean, I'm telling my
house.
Yeah, I'm going, we got to get her. Let's get her out of here. And then right then, this old man comes up, and he has something in his hand, and I'll get to that in a second. He has something in his hand. And the kid does something, red flag number 2. The kid takes a key out, and he unlocks his bedroom door and a deadbolt. I'm going, who does that?
Right.
I mean, you don't even have keys on this, probably on your doors, you know, to the bedrooms here.
Regular.
Who has keys?
Yeah, the little inside lock on the doorknobs.
And this is also custom where it's a deadbolt.
Oh.
Like, who does that? But I'm thinking that I'm not thinking. It's just like things are like, and he says, hey, check this out. And he has this little machine. You can drop, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, dude. He has his Bible, and he sees that I have tattoos. He goes, do you have to cover those up? I'm like, yeah, man. He goes, check this out. And he shows that tattoo now. And it's this angelic Christian, whatever this thing is, like a protector, a heavenly protector type thing, some religious thing. And he sees I'm watching this, and I'm telling the officer, let's go. Let's get her going. The whole time she's engaged in me. And the kid says something, and I'll never forget this. Now, again, you know, I say demonic, or this, if it's something else, it's not like Hollywood, man. They're not crawling on the walls and heads spinning around and these voices. And, you know, no, this is real. And this kid says, sir, I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, this is nothing. I'm like, what do you mean this is nothing? He goes, you should hear it at night. I go, what? He goes, you should hear it at night. I go, this is your mother. You refer to her as it? That's not my mom, bro. Because, and that's why I lock my door. I went, man. So we get her, right? We're like, I'm telling the officer, we got to take her. Well, then the old man's standing there with that thing in his hand. You know how nowadays we have our phones and I can show you pictures or just send you pictures? Like, this is my daughter, it's my family, whatever.
Right.
Jiu-jitsu, whatever we're doing. He has a Rolodex, like 3x5 pictures that maybe your parents had, you know, like a little album.
Right.
And they had just moved here from maybe Idaho or Iowa. Again, lovely home. And he's flipping through it, and he gets through this picture of this woman in the kitchen in that house. And that was her. And she's stunning. And I'm like, is this her? He goes, yeah. I go, what happened? He goes, we don't know. They don't know. I said, is she an addict? Is she on drugs? History of any of that?
But wait, they don't know who she is?
That's his wife. They don't know what happened to her, according to her husband.
Oh, so when the kid said that's not his mom.
Yeah. What he's saying, what he's seeing, like what she's doing.
In her current state.
Yes. He goes, that's not my mom.
Okay.
That's not like what he's saying is that's not the woman I know.
Right.
Yeah. You know, that's mom. But
so he deadbolts his door at night because of her.
Yes.
The demons come out.
Whatever it is, man. And we ended up, you know, there's no dramatic, heroic ending. We ended up getting her to the psychiatric center. We gave her a ride. The breathing continued, her demeanor continued, and we turned her over to the psych center. Her husband was there, walked her in, and that was the end of it. Don't know whatever happened, but it makes you wonder, like what's going on. Like for her own son to go, lock it up, you know, and he's turning his. It all made sense. It was like one of those Kaiser Sosa moments from The Usual Suspects, where everything comes together, man. Like it all made sense. You know, he's just protecting himself. He's turning his life over to God. His talent for God, you know, Bibles and tattoos of God, you know, this, It's going, wow, man, this must really be affecting this guy, man. So, oh yeah. I mean, is it just some mental illness? I don't know, you know.
The interviewer could have done better.
Okay, yesterday you told us you traveled, and I quote, thousands of light years to get here. Yes. Tell us the truth. It is truth. Only for the mouth. For the future. The truth is on. The secret is space. Different species intelligence. I take it aliens took over our future, right? So you're human. Okay, so you evolved from us. So what are you doing here now? How? Okay, so how about we concentrate on your time? Wait, so you know the meaning of life? What's the difference? So you know how the universe is created? So you think God? Okay, illuminate us. What happens when we die? Okay, so let me get this straight. There's no death, and we all experience each other's lives, right? Okay, so how was the universe created, and why is it so perfectly made for us? Moving on. Okay, so why do we destroy ourselves with nuclear war? Can you be more specific, please? Okay, one last thing. What about morality? What are you basing your morality on?
Imagine it was the real footage. How many of you guys gonna believe it?
A law actually in Hawaii that you cannot put any trees with fruit on it anywhere, and it just makes you wonder. It just makes you wonder that
what's the
law? You can't put trees with fruit on public lands. Trees with fruit
didn't know that.
Why
would
no,
they
but
have
that's
that?
everywhere. But look over here. Look at all the trees you see. Why isn't there food? Because they rather push stuff like social classes, stuff like the EBT card and these different things. Why is there no food on any of the trees? Just think about it in your head. Take a drive down the road and say, today I'm gonna count how many trees I count before I see one tree with food. Will you see one tree with food? You know, and that's what I've been talking about. I mean, I talk about that all the time. And it's You know, it's to push these things.
It's all about money, guys. Free food doesn't help their pockets. Only God knows what that is. I know what you're gonna tell me. Could this video have been better? Yes. But remember, this guy put his life on the line to get that footage. Are you getting AI confused?
Ani nemůžeme se podívat dovnitř. Mimozemšťani přiletěli.
It's a mystery box, guys. Let's just chill. And you know you should not watch those videos at night. You know that. And that's a real life drone.
To na Hillary? Oh boy, you better run as fast as you can.
I know what you're gonna ask. What's the treatment? First step, stop eating meat every day. Full arm straining, full posture. Hey, they're evolving fast, guys.
Okay, this is William Rothschild's house. He just passed away in this house as a result of a fire. And apparently he's a member of the Rothschild banking family. This is about $1 million property, but it's dilapidated. And it is in Laurel Canyon on a street called Lookout Mountain. He was known as a hoarder. There's a lot of debris up there. You can see the fire damage if you look. The air is heavy. It smells awful. Like, that's a weird architectural feature for a garage. It's not a stately manor. And you can see there's some really beautiful homes right across the street. There's no information about this guy. There is a heavy energy here, I have to say. Every time I roll through Laurel Canyon, there's just kind of a heavy energy. I can't, you know, there's a lot of weird things happen in these.
That definitely wasn't a house of joy.
How does one get possessed?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The two biggest ways are dabbling in the occult.
What does that mean?
Playing with demonic things, Ouija boards, going to a psychic, tarot cards, or actual occult worship of the devil. Those are pretty much immediate open doors that you're going to have demons come right in.
Psychics are demonic.
They're not channeling your dead relatives. Well, the psychic told me my mother shared this with me when I was 10, and nobody ever knew that but us. So it has to be my mom, except for the demons in the room, who also heard it. And now they're impersonating your mother.
Wow.
They can put up a good show. They can also place thoughts in our minds, and they can manipulate our emotions. And when you have that trifecta, the person is 100% believes it's their mother.
You've heard what you said. Be careful.
J'ai entendu du bruit. On va faire brûler la souche, les gars, on va faire brûler la souche. C'est bon. Les gars. Mon cœur il bat à 3000. Écoutez mon cœur. Les gars, vous entendez mon cœur?
Celia is trembling in fear as loud banging can be heard coming from somewhere in the house. And did you see it? There's a reflection in the door glass of someone or something in the kitchen that the camera picks up, but Celia can't see from her angle. She hears a noise and looks around, but from her angle of view, she just can't see the shadow. At this point, Celia has no idea what she's dealing with and whether she's experiencing something supernatural.
And can someone please turn on the light?
How much did they tell you about that?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd they tell you? How much can you tell?
So
How's that work? Is it like super
I think
top
I
secret?
Can tell, you know,
Tell me.
But I interviewed a few people. It's never been my thing, I have to be honest. I have never been a believer. I have people that Area 51 or whatever it is. I think it's the #1 tourist attraction in the whole country or something. Area 51 in Las Vegas. Do you know that, right?
Sure, I know what it is.
I interviewed jet pilots that were solid people. Perfect. I mean, great pilots, great everything. And they said, we saw things, sir, that were very strange. Like a round ball, but it wasn't a comet or a meteor. It was something. And It was going 4 times faster than an F-22, which is a very fast plane, you know.
I know there are billions of souls that would love to have a human body. You won the lottery. You got one.
The bodies that we select, do we choose that?
Yes.
So we have free will.
Yes. You are not demanded to have a life. It is a choice to learn from the experiences to be had on this planet in human form.
What upsets the archangels more than anything?
We don't get upset or we don't judge. We see all things as opportunities of growth and expansion experientially. The only thing that would not upset us, but might upset you, is if there was no growth from the experiences that are challenging.
You had mentioned that there are other Earth-like planets teeming throughout the universe.
Yes. There's billions of them in your solar system.
Do the 12 archangels, under the guise of Theo, handle all these planets?
Handle, that's an interesting way of description. We would say in that description, no, we are aware of them, however.
Are there other archangels for them?
There are 24 archangelic beings.
Total?
Yes. But there are billions of angels.
Hey, who else picked up live on challenge mode with no cheat codes? Let me know, drop a comment.
I actually threw away all my meditation books, all my books on yoga, all my, like, it wasn't just the stuff that people considered spooky. So I posted this post on Instagram where I just took a picture of a good chunk of these books that I took from my library. I have like, I don't want to say that they were haunting me, but it's like, I already knew they were there. I have my son who's growing up and is becoming curious, and it's like, you know, there were some art books I threw away too that weren't in that picture that were like, I don't know if I want my kid to look at that, you know, like, but to me it was like I came to this really awesome realization that night that I decided to post that, was that like I don't want these crutches in my life anymore, you know, and that's what I really saw them as. It's like, okay, like I just want Jesus, and it's a very narrow road, right? Like I feel like all these other, like these breathing techniques or these or like spell work or whatever, like nature worship, all these things, it's like they're just crutches. They're not really like my answer. So that was like, it was a symbolic gesture, I guess, in a way, but it was my first like proclaiming of where I stand with certain things. And it was crazy to watch the reaction, because in the comments it was like I feel like you could see literal demons hissing at each other. And it was coming from both sides, you know, from people that were like, oh, I don't think Aleister Crowley's evil, or hey, like, why would you throw this away? You should give them to people, like that's so wasteful, or whatever. And that night, I feel like 2 people came to my house. So at the time we lived in LA and we had a gated house, and I was upstairs with my son and the doorbell rang and we had like a security system, and my husband looks and it was, he screenshotted it, and it was just this possessed person, you know, who just was like, hi, you know, I don't want to freak you out, but I just want to know if I could please have those books, you know, like I really need those books. I need those books. And it was just like, and you could see the the darkness in this eye. And like a lot of people, especially in the Christian community, like call everything demonic. And I don't think everything is demonic. Like, but in this case, I was like, I think this is a definition of a demon. Like this person is possessed and is no longer in control of what they would normally do because they're obsessed either with fame or with the desire to bring certain evils into your life, you know? I think that's crazy. You know, my husband ushered him away. Then the second person came and they tried to break into our trash cans.
Wow.
Which I had already thrown. Huh?
To get the books.
Yes. Yeah. Which were all readily available online anyway. I mean, I did have like first editions of stuff, but it's like, what is it in you that's like so desperate for, you know, like again, trying to find these answers in the wrong place is a literal trash can.
And let's meditate on it. And that's a wrap on this creepy recap. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me. Smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.